Good morning, Mr. Sanggalon, and good morning, Mr. Timothy. Today, I'm gonna bring in a story about Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, a poor woodcutter lived in a small cottage near a dark forest with his two children and with his stepmother. Their children's name was Hansel and Gretel. They were very poor, and there was barely enough food for them to eat. One night, as the children lay in bed, they overheard their stepmother plans, whispering to their father, "We don't have enough wood to survive. We must take the children deep into the forest and leave them there." The woodcutter hesitated for a second, for he loved his children, and but in the end, he gave in to her cruel plan. Hansel, who was clever, sneaked outside that night and filled his pocket with white pebbles. The next morning, the stepmother leads them into the wood. As they walk, Hansel dropped the pebbles along the way. After walking deep into the forest, the stepmother said, "Stay here, children. We will return for you soon. But do not fail, and no one's gonna save them or coming for them." Luckily, when the moonlight shone, the white pebbles glowed, and Hansel and Gretel followed the path back home. The father was overjoyed to see them, but the stepmother, she was furious. A few days later, the stepmother insisted to taking the children even deeper into the dark forest. This time, Hansel had no time to collect the white pebbles. Instead, he dropped breadcrumbs along the path. Once again, they were left alone. But when they tried to follow the trail, surprise! They found the breadcrumbs as eaten by the birds. They were completely lost. They freaked out. Oh, how do we gonna back home? And then they wandered for days, hungry and tired, exhausted, until they saw a most amazing sight. A house made of bread, cakes, and candy. The starving children rushed forward, bringing off a piece to eat. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and an old woman stepped out. "Oh, dear children, come inside. You must be starving," she said kindly. Hansel and Gretel followed the old woman inside. But as soon as they stepped in, the woman locked Hansel in a cage and forced Gretel to do the housework. The old woman was actually a wicked witch who planned to fatten up Hansel up and eat him. Every day, she gave him food and checked his finger to see if he was getting fat. But Hansel was smart. He held out a thin bone, instead tricking the nearby witch. After weeks of waiting, the impatient witch decided to eat Hansel no matter what. She ordered Gretel to heat up the oven. "Check if the oven is hot enough, girl," she was ordered. But Gretel pretended not to understand. "How do I check?" she said. "Foolish girl, like this." The witch snapped and bent forward to check herself. At the moment, Gretel pushed her inside and slammed her door shut. The witch screamed in pain and agony as the fire consumed her, turning her to ashes. Now she was gone forever. Gretel freed Hansel from the cage, and they found a chest full of gold and jewels. Filling the pockets, they set off through the forest, hoping to find home. After days of walking, they reached a river, where a friendly swan carried them across. Soon, they saw a familiar sight, their father's cottage. The father ran out, overjoyed to see them. He had regretted leaving them and told them their stepmother was gone. Hansel and Gretel showed him the treasure, and from that day on, they never went hungry again and lived happily ever after. The end.